On review board, we are live.
Jason, we will have to take a little recess until we have a quorum.
Understood. Thank you very much. I will mute the feed and make sure that we're still on the air but muted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Kristen.
They were paving my road.
Thank you.
Had, like,
Okay,
feeling
can we proceed with the feed?
We
We're good,
can
Jason.
proceed. Yes.
Okay, let us know when we're on.
You are on.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Design Review Board. I call to order the Design Review Board for today, Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. The first item on our agenda are the minutes of April 18th, 2023. Are there any questions or corrections? If not, then I would approve a motion. I would entertain a motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Cheryl, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kate. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The next item on our agenda is 6 Woods Lane, the historic district. That's Woods Lane Holdings LLC. Is the applicant present?
It's not here yet, but I don't-
Okay.
maybe you want to skip and go to the next
Yeah,
one.
let's move to the next one. The next item on the agenda is the commercial district, which is in a historic district. It's called White's Apothecary, and the premises of 81 Main Street. Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Thank you. And could you just come to the podium, introduce yourself, and explain briefly what you'd like to do?
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Jared Mandel, architect. My office is located 32 Pine Point Road, Southampton, Suite 219, zip code 11968. I am here today for the applicant where we are seeking to renovate the building located at 81 East Main Street, and we understand that there are, I guess we'll call it limitations that are beneficial to the community, and we're looking to be very respectful in our renovation that we are proposing. So that being said, what we're looking to do is modernize the finishes on the building. The main goal is really to clean the building up, although we are looking to make some, I guess we'll call it semi-modernizations in colors, or kind of more of an integration of some of the colors that exist on the building. So starting with the finishes, I don't know if the board would want me to go through each one of the finishes.
Why don't we do that? I noticed there's about like 10 or 12
I have
items.
a list that I could go through that list.
Why don't we go through that? It's better. It'll refresh our memory and bring everybody in the audience and on TV up to date.
Okay, great.
Let's do that. Thank you.
So starting with the front of the building, which I believe the board is concentrated or more focused on the front of the building. But obviously, whatever recommendations is to be made, that's okay on the sides, the rear, however, if we end up working together on this. Starting with the siding on the front of the building, we're kind of have an integration of multiple materials right now that are kind of clashing against each other around the entire building. So what we're trying to do, and starting with the siding, we're just looking to do a linear clapboard, which is similar with a similar exposure to what we have currently on the building. On the front of the building, on the sides, it's an asbestos siding that has a larger exposure, but we're looking to take that siding that we're using on the front and integrate it to the sides. The rear and the east side of the building, being that it's less visual, we're just looking to paint it.
And what will the siding, what is the exposure face of the siding, and what will the siding be made out of?
We're looking for a 4-inch exposure. It would be wood,
Yes. Oh, good.
painted wood. We're looking to go with
No
on
problem.
exposure. Understanding that that's going with the integrity of what he's looking for.
Okay, great.
With that being said, so we're talking about clapboard windows. We are looking to replace all the windows that are existing. The existing windows don't really go with the character of, I think, the intentions as the building was built.
Right.
So we are looking to put in most likely an Anderson window 400 series. We're trying to do exposed mutton bars, so it looks a little bit more authentic. So right now they are clear on the front, but we are trying to bring some of the integrity or the character that's consistent within the block to kind of bring that back to the upper windows on this facade. And on the lower portion, we're trying to clear up the glass a little bit, but still hold some of the mutton bar character that would exist consistent with the rest of the block as well.
Billy Hayjack, could we just have your input on?
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to.
Okay, we'll listen.
Let the applicant finish, and then I can.
Okay.
Comment. Yeah.
That is some of the changes that we will be having with the windows. We're going to carry that character around the rest of the building as well, and we're going to replace all the windows that are on the building. While we're talking about the front of the building, number 3, we are looking to accent a metal roof above the bay windows with the color black metal, which I know is a little bit of a change, but we're trying to bring in the black and white. So the black awning, trying to get some sort of color rhythm that would speak to that black awning. So what the intention is to add metal roofs above the bay windows and accentuate them a little bit more by making them a little bit higher. And at the same time, bringing that black color to the side gutters. So it's really about an integration of the colors. They're trying to bring a little bit more black into the facade, was the intention.
When you use lead-coated copper,
Yes, 100% or zinc-coated copper. That was the other, we were actually
is
thinking
that the
about
black?
that. So if that was definitely something that we'd be open to, because that's exactly what I was thinking outside of the black. If we weren't to go black, zinc-coated copper or lead-coated copper,
I
however.
think one of the problems is that I know the trend is black windows, white siding, and you see so many, but it's a little trendy. And this is an icon. And for the Village of East Hampton, like, you're in Southampton, I'm sure they feel similarly. So right now we have copper, am I correct, for over the...
Yes, it looks like a painted copper. It might be painted white, but I believe it would look more authentic if it was back to look like a lead-coated or
I think
zinc-coated.
we want something that would fade and turn with age,
Yes.
as opposed to being black and staying black.
Understood.
It would give the building a patina. So what we're looking for are the patinas, and not simply a black and white building like a black and white house with
Completely got it.
everywhere now. You as an architect, everything's black and white.
I know.
So it sort of looks a little spooky looking.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Are you changing the shape as well? Because these roofs have this pointed element, and your rendering is
On the roofs themselves.
on the bay windows.
She's discussing like it comes to a little point.
Comes a little higher to expose the material a little bit more.
Sort of a
The old.
The old comes to a point, it's a little bit more shallow and a little bit more hidden.
Yes.
I thought it would be a little bit more contrast with the black to bring them up a little bit. Also, I mean, even if it was a more authentic material, as we're talking, like a copper material, I think it would bring out the beauty of the finish or the material a little bit more if we bring it up. That was just my thought.
Okay.
Just to, similar to bay windows as they're typically done. Right. The exposure of that roof is usually an important element to.
Are these roofs not typical? Were these originally made this way?
I believe, I couldn't say. I know that they've existed in this condition since the 70s, but I don't know if they've been manipulated prior to that. So,
Well, maybe we can find out.
Okay. And we'd be open to if the board is making a recommendation to lower those, I'd be 100% on board.
Thank you.
Okay, so one of the items that we were looking to update with I guess we'll say a more modern finish, but hoping to still maintain the integrity and character of what consistency would be if it were wood, is we are trying to replace all of the fascias and decorative, I guess we'll call them moldings, wood moldings, fascias with an AZAC material painted. The only reason we were thinking about using that material is just a lot of times the wood rots out, and we feel like it's a sticking point of where the water runs down the building. And I know that we're dealing with the wood siding, which is actually, but at the same time, a lot of times fascias rot out and materials rot out. So we were actually thinking if it would be beneficial and it would still maintain the integrity of what we're looking to capture on the building, we would like to replace it with,
The only thing we know, and I know because I was in this field, is that with the AZAC material, usually the installer or contractor never really gets it right as far as the painting, and you always see the little screw holes. Even if I notice, if you go ahead and give it a filler, it usually shrinks, and it never really looks. It looks fake even when it's painted. So we do have. There are woods you could use that are sturdier than some woods. Like you have poplar, but you also have like mahogany and Philippine mahogany and things like that are very sturdy and they're strong. They'll last a long, long time.
Okay.
AZAC doesn't hold paint very well.
No, it doesn't hold paint, and I have to say, it always looks to me very fake. And I just think, since this is an iconic building, I don't think we really want that. I don't think it's a good idea to do all that in AZAC. I think if you want to, you can pick out a different type of wood that is sturdy.
Okay. Yeah,
And, sort of with these kind of buildings, there is a period of time where if you have a house that you expect things to wear out, like it's not going to last 100 years.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take that into consideration 100%. Moving down the list, the letters on the sign that exist there right now, we're just looking to remove, clean up and put back on.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question about that? Your rendering has a different font, but it's going to be the same lettering.
Same
You're
letter.
not changing it. It's just the way it was rendered.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main white's still going to remain.
Yes.
Everybody
Everything's going to remain exactly how it is.
knows where it is now.
Yeah. There's no plan on any changes to the name. That the owner is looking for longevity as well. That's why they're open to whatever we need to do to modernize it, but keep the integrity.
Good.
Okay, awning to be removed and reinstalled in kind. Storefront glass replaced with new transoms above as per the proposed elevations. That was just a change in grid styles. Storefront door to be replaced, similar, but just, or same, but just,
And that will also be in real wood.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to stay with real wood throughout.
Understood. I'm understanding.
Okay. Thank you, Jared.
Apartment door to be replaced as per the proposed elevations. That's actually on the second floor in the rear. Stained glass window above the front apartment door, which we understand is very important in the character of the building, remained and just cleaned. Decorative column details around the apartment door on the east side to be replaced. We're looking to flatten it and modernize it a little bit. But again, if this is something that the board wants to weigh, I'm okay with keeping it the way that we need to keep it.
And that's the columns we're talking about here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's existing is the,
It's right here.
yeah. So that's what, okay. But the detailing on what you propose is very similar, am I
Very similar.
correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
just the fluted engaged columns and the
Yeah.
capitals are changed very slightly.
Well, that looks, I really can't tell the difference. It sort of looks the same.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a lower profile, it's flatter.
Yes, flatter.
And why not use the original profile?
We were just thinking it was going to look
Original?
a little bit more consistent with the building. There's not much ornate character within this building, but
Well, this was built in 1906,
Mhm.
is that right? And was this part of the original design in 1906?
it appears to be, I believe it was 1906, and then
By Davis and Wood?
yes, and I think 1916,
Cool.
the building or the tenant, I guess White's.
It was sold a few times and then it was sold
Oh,
back to
I see.
Mr. White, the third ownership, I believe,
Okay.
from my research on this.
Yeah. Glass.
And I think
Yeah.
that was part of the original
Oh, okay.
Davis and Wood design.
Yeah.
I would be in favor of, if it has to be removed, to replacing it in the way that it was originally designed.
Okay, we may, if that's the case, we may sand and paint it if it's in
Yeah, that's okay.
good
Yes.
shape, if we look at it that way and determine that it seems to be in good shape and it doesn't, if we replace everything and it doesn't look,
And I think it's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, board members? Okay, continue then. Okay.
this is going around the gutters, half round black metal gutters, but I understand we may, if we're changing the roof lines, it'll be the same, probably zinc coated.
I would do the zinc coated.
Yeah.
That'll look so much better.
Yep. Skylights. On the rear of the building, where a lot of the patrons come in, it appears, we're just trying to make it a little bit more appealing as you enter, since a lot of people are using the rear entry. So we're looking to add skylights to bring in more natural light, and we're looking to add a living wall kind of along the back wall, just so it gives it a pretty
That's understandable. And I think skylights for the interior, it's not showing, so that's fine. Yeah.
Rear patio columns to be replaced or wrapped. We can wrap them in wood.
Wood, yeah.
If that's, we wanted to make them a little bit more, maybe a little bit wider.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's the rear of the building. I think that's fine.
To be replaced. Rear pharmacy door to be replaced as per the drawing. Bringing together the integrity of the button bars that go around the rest of the, are consistent with the rest of the building. Secondary pharmacy door to be painted white. That's the solid door that's on the east wall. Living wall we spoke about. The rear CMU block wall and the existing side, the east side, is to be painted white. And there's a fence that exists currently right now that we'd like to replace wood fencing, just painted white, because it's kind of in not great shape.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jared. Yeah. Thank you. That's an explanation. Billy, maybe just have your critique, your.
Sure. Good morning. Board members, Billy Hajak for the Village of East Hampton. I have had a few conversations with Jared, and I think we're heading in a great direction here. And it's the building does need some TLC, and I think it's terrific that it's getting a well-needed restoration or renovation. And what's that?
A new facelift.
Yeah, exactly. As I indicated in my report to the board, I think the emphasis, from my perspective, the emphasis really ought to be on the front facade, mainly the storefront area. I think retaining the existing door to the eastern door and its trim and the stained glass, I think, is a really important element because we're certain that that's original to the building. The sides of the building and the rear, I personally have less concern with in terms of materials. But I think in terms of the overall scope of the project, my recommendation is the emphasis be on the front, absolutely facade.
Yeah.
And, replacing the storefront door, the storefront windows, I think the way it's designed, I think looks nice and appropriate. But again, the emphasis for the front area should really be on using a wood product, painted wood.
Yes.
My recommendation.
And the windows, Jared, will be wood? Yes.
Trim,
Okay.
trim on the window.
Everything will be wood. Am I correct?
Then we'll probably be going with the Marvin.
Okay.
Marvin.
And Billy, do you know anything about the shape of that little point?
Above the bay windows? No, because there's a bay window on the western, I guess we'd call it the western side of the building as well. Yeah. And I do not know if those have been replaced. I can only go back to I only found evidence back to the 70s where they existed. So I can't assume one way or the other.
Is this picture from
Yes.
the 70s?
Yeah, that's correct. The tree's much smaller in the front there.
Yeah, I noticed that tree.
Yeah. I tried to take a similar photo and see to make a comparison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think we're heading in a great direction, and I appreciate Jared's cooperation.
Okay.
You have any questions?
Questions?
No.
So the general direction, what do you see that should be changed here? Or
I would suggest the plans be updated to reflect the siding material,
okay.
and then simply call out, the corrections that were agreed to at the
Okay.
meeting. We can have
Okay.
those corrections shown. If I can conduct some more research into the bay windows to try to find out.
I just think it would be a mistake to change that profile if it turns out that it
Yes.
was original to the building.
Yeah, I actually like that little
Yeah.
peak. I don't know what that little peak is called.
I know. But I think it's
nice.
it's
Okay.
nice.
I'll find out
Yeah.
the most information I can about that and relay it back to the board and to Jared.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jared, then we'll just update everything and you'll speak about that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. To you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next item, Woods Holding Lane.
Not yet.
Okay. The next item is Zegna, premises of 50 Newtown Lane. Yes, Billy, do you have any comments on this?
Gentleman is here for that.
I'm here for that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the air conditioning?
Yes.
Oh, it's an air conditioning, okay.
Yeah, it's just mounting a small package unit on the back of the building to serve the rear of the space, a ductless unit.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Steve Ospitali with Moises A. Cerdas Building.
Okay, oh, yes, I know most sets, yes. Okay. Any comments? I don't see any problem with this.
There was an old oil tank there that had been, I guess, disconnected for a while, so we removed that already. So I mean, it looks better now, and then we're just going to mount it right on the back of where the oil tank was.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve this application. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Cheryl, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kate. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is Chanel. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Chanel, premises of 26 Newtown Lane. Is the applicant present? Okay,
Good morning, Chairman.
Good morning.
thank you.
Tara Burke from Lighthouse Land
All
Planning,
right,
on behalf of Chanel and 28 Newtown Lane LLC.
thank you. Okay, can you just give us an idea what you'd like to do?
Sure. So we're proposing what we believe to be some minor landscaping and site improvements at the existing retail store on Newtown Lane. The first to be to remove the existing invasive bamboo along the property line and replace that with a boxwood hedge and a couple tall trees interspersed.
One question. I noticed that the wall there from the entire wall there from Village Hardware, will that be restuccoed? Because I noticed it's all cracked. Is that?
On Village Hardware building?
Yes. Is that, or is it just?
Well, it's on our property, so
Okay.
I don't know anything about
All
it.
right. Because it just shows a clean slate there.
Oh, in the rendering.
Yes, in the rendering. Okay.
Yeah, we're not proposing to restock.
Okay. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and do that.
Mhm.
Okay. And then.
And then on that same side yard, we want to put a gate
That's right.
on the side of the building there. The front gate, we're
Right.
proposing to be cedar painted white. And then the one in the rear, we were going to do the PVC to match the existing fence along the back of the property. And then they wanted to add a couple small seating areas in the rear. There's an existing bluestone patio, and they wanted to put a pergola on top of that, and then have some portable seating in that area, and then have two other portable seating areas, one with Adirondack chairs and an umbrella, and the other one with a day bed in the rear yard.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Billy, you're
Nice to see that bamboo.
yeah. So I'm not going to miss the bamboo.
Billy Hajak for the Village.
Thank you.
Good morning, board members.
Good morning.
Yeah, I had a few conversations with Tara about this project. I know the bamboo was removed. I drove by this morning, and Bernie's building, it does look a little.
Yeah.
I think the bamboo was hiding a lot.
I know it is. It
Couple
is.
different colors.
I didn't realize the wall is cracked. And,
Yeah, and I think it's two different colors.
yeah.
So I get, some evergreen trees to hide that, I think will help. My one concern was that they didn't screen the display window that exists at the front of
That's right.
building.
Yes.
And the landscape plan and the rendering shows that not to be covered with any vegetation, which I appreciate. Concerning the improvements to the rear yard, they seem to be, amenities, I guess, for their for the shoppers. It's fine as provided that it doesn't turn into a display area or an area for outdoor sales. So that's my one concern is if the board were to approve this, it'd be condition that that area can't be used for outdoor sales or displays. Other than that, I don't think the items in the rear yard detract from the building at all. And concerning the fence or the gate in the front of the building, I would just be cautious. We don't want to do anything that's going to detract from the character of the building.
Yeah.
I don't know the purpose really of it, other than just kind of block the gap between the two buildings. I don't know if that could be done with vegetation versus a wood structure, but that's my only concern. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other, but
Okay.
just be cautious about putting in more improvements that are going to detract from the beautiful building that's there now.
Thank you, Billy. And board members, what is your input on as far as the little gates and the vegetation there? What do you see?
It looks good.
I think it was, it's clearly better than the bamboo that was there. And, I'm sure they couldn't paint the wall because of the bamboo. So
Right.
whatever's happened to that wall, probably because they couldn't access it.
Okay.
So I think I like the look of the vegetation, the boxwood and the trees.
So speaking of bamboo, it's on the side there,
Yes.
that, you will see Bernie's side of the building.
That's right.
So
That's
once you
right.
took that out, you
Right.
exposed that side of the building.
Right.
But Is that stucco?
It is stucco. It is stucco, yes.
And the pergola is going to be made out of wood.
Correct.
I really like it.
That was a nice design.
Looks good.
And we did submit, just to touch on what Billy was saying, I submitted a cover letter. Billy and I had a couple of conversations noting that rear area is not to be a continuation of retail space. It's just for guests to sit and
Okay,
take photos and relax before they shop.
There's
Okay.
no coffee truck.
No, I actually asked them specifically. I said, is there going to be any like service out there?
no ice cream or anything?
They said no.
No,
And they have submitted event permits in the past if they are doing anything and continue to do so. So
Perfect. Okay,
I will be well aware of that.
thank you. So then, board members, do I have a motion to approve this application with the stipulation that the rear part of the building and the seating area, there will be no sales or anything like that, or
no food.
and no food? Okay, do I have a motion to approve this?
Motion submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
And good luck, it looks great. Billy, thank you for taking the time and effort, thank you. The next item on the agenda is Woods Lane Holding. Anybody here?
I'm not here, but if you want, I can discuss
Oh,
the,
Billy,
discuss it.
yes.
So this is a plan to install landscaping
Yeah,
at Woods Lane. It's a prominent, the White House.
right.
Everyone knows it has. The regulations for the Main Street Historic District, which this is a part of, give the board power to regulate vegetation within 10 feet of the front yard, basically along Main Street. So I guess the town pond side of the property is where your jurisdiction lies, and within 10 feet. So within that area, they're proposing boxwoods, quite a few boxwood shrubs. The guidelines for this area suggest using privet hedge along the street. If you want to define your property with vegetation, the guidelines suggest privet hedge maintained at a height of no greater than 6 feet. In this case, I think they're proposing boxwoods that are intended to be formed into a hedge. And I think as long as the hedge is maintained at a height of no higher than something like 4 feet, I think that is consistent with the integrity of the guidelines. My one concern is they have 3 large trees in I guess would be like the eastern corner, the northeastern corner.
Northeast, yeah.
I would suggest that those be moved back on the property so that it doesn't obstruct any view of the residents.
Yes, and that's a good idea, yes.
Yeah, if they could slide them all back.
Yes, let them move
Or spread
those.
them out a little bit.
And why not hedges? Why boxwoods instead?
It's a personal choice, I guess, by the designer.
It was just.
I think they're trying to go for like a more English garden type of, based on everything else that's occurring on the property. To me, it looks like they're creating more of a normal English garden.
And boxwoods are easier to maintain than,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
they don't go wild like privet.
Hedges tend to grow and grow and grow
and grow,
and get higher, and
and they spread out, and they're
So I
really.
think the boxwoods, I think it'll be easier to keep them, ensure that they're maintained at a lower height.
I prefer the boxwood because then you can see the house.
That's the whole point, is to try to see that.
You can't really
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. You get a winter view maybe, kind of.
Yeah, maybe.
Slow growth too.
And then the only thing I notice is that it looks like coming off of their house on the right-hand side, the sunroom area, it looks like they have like a reflecting pool that, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, I didn't get a chance to contact the applicant's representative. I don't know if those are any improvements. If it's all gravel, it's fine. That doesn't require review. But if there are any improvements in that area, that's going to be subject to your review. And the plans are not specifically clear as to what those, what that is. So we'll have to clarify that.
So maybe we could have the applicant go ahead, Tom, and let us know what they really are planning there, because I think it's, right now it's confusing.
Yeah, they have to label the plan a little more clearly.
Yeah, maybe they could come back, just label it. We could go ahead and maybe, Pam, should we approve everything and have them come back with that, or just have it a
Or
clean
just note
slate?
that if there's a reflecting pool, that it's not part of the approval.
Okay, okay. So then, why don't we do something like that? Why don't we go ahead and, may I have a motion to approve the plan, and with the exception of this little area here with, it looks like a reflecting pond. Maybe they could go ahead and come back to us on that. Okay.
And also my suggestion is to move the 3 evergreen.
Oh, yes, and to also move the 3 trees into the property line in the northeast corner property. Okay, so,
How far back? Dan?
I'd say more than 10 feet.
okay,
Or greater than 10 feet.
so they'll move the trees back greater than 10 feet in the northeast corner, and they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna explain if this is a reflecting pool or what that actually is. And then we'll go ahead and we'll approve this application. I'll make a motion to approve the application. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Cheryl, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kate, thank you. And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And the boxwood no higher than 4 feet.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
boxwood's no higher than 4 feet.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Billy. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, this concludes our agenda for today. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Cheryl, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kate, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. See you at the next meeting.